Okay, bros. We're here for your weekly NXT Fix, featuring the ever so popular bro ratings. Now, here's your host. Okay, bros. I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson, and we're here for another week of your weekly NXT Fix. Now, since it's Thursday, we wear yellow, we're going to start off and enjoy a nice tasty beverage, this Sprite Zero. Very refreshing, bros. Oh, nice. Now, NXT kicks off this week hot and heavy, leading up to this weekend's takeover, which, by the way, at the end of this video, you will hear firsthand my predictions, aka spoilers, of what's going to happen at TakeOver. So, NXT kicked off this week. Semi-final action on the Dusty Cup, MSK versus Legado del Phantasma. And, bros, what a great match between these two teams. I mean, you got the high-flying MSK versus the high-flying Legado del Phantasma. Now, we wanted the even higher-flying Lucha House Party, but I'm actually kind of glad we got this matchup because these two teams really gelled. They were doing some crazy moves. MSK did that flip with the push to the outside. Legado del Phantasma, Joaquin Wilde did like a jump off someone's back who was being held by Raul Mendoza into a 450. Craziness. But in the end, MSK got the 1-2-3. They're your winners. Moving on to the finals of the Dusty Cup Classic. And we'll see if they win it all at TakeOver on Sunday. So, opening contest, bros, is going to give us an 8.1 on the bro ratings. Moving on, Tian Sha, which, I looked it up again, it means goddamn. And this week, goddamn, because Xia Li was in there with unnamed opponent, whatever, and Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter come down, and they confront Xia Li and whoever this mystery person is. I think it was who they named before, Mei Ying, I think her name was, the Chinese dynasty ruler, and they were taken out. They were absolutely taken out. Caden Carter was thrown into a barricade by Xia Li. Then she kicked Casey Catanzaro. Xia Li made quick work of her opponent, which I'm not liking all these squash matches. Now is the time. Xia Li needs to go against Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter moving forward. At the very least, their level. If not, we're going to give the future Xia Li matches the worst ever bro ratings. So, for tonight, we're going to give that one a 6.9 on the bro ratings. Moving on, Scarlett Bordeaux tells William Regal, next week it's time. So, William Regal books Santos Escobar versus Karrion Kross next week. That should be a killer matchup. See what I did there? Then, The Way arrives, and we've got Johnny Wheelchair. I mean, who would have thought this would be fantastic? So, Johnny comes out, and he says, you know what? There I was, minding my own business, trying to get not Mackenzie fired, when Kushida damn near broke my arm. So, William Regal comes out and says, you know what? Johnny, you're a fool, and you need to stop playing this charade. Johnny says, wait, what do you think this is? Who am I? Dennis Charadman? I mean, Johnny Gargano is firing on all cylinders right now. He's complete fire, comedy gold. This character, Johnny Gargano's character in the way, perfect. Great, great stuff. So then William Regal says, yeah, you know what? You have your arm in a sling. You're in a wheelchair. What's going on here? This is an act. So you have two options. Austin Theory can act as your surrogate and defend the North American title tonight against Kushida, or you can forfeit it. And Johnny says, well, look, I have an x-ray to prove this. Shows the x-ray on the screen. It's like complete, like bones everywhere. And William Regal goes, well, look, this is obviously fake. It's got an R on it for your right arm, and your left arm's the one in the sling. Johnny Gargano says, well, it says R because everybody knows that R stands for real. I mean, could be the line of the night right there. Bravo for this in-ring promo and a little interaction between Gargano and William Regal. We're going to give this in-ring promo an 8.5 on the bro ratings. Fantastic. Do yourselves a favor. Sit back, relax, enjoy some laughs. Check out that Johnny Gargano stuff. The guy is on fire. Moving on, we have the Women's Dusty Cup semifinal matchup. Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. And these two teams tore it up tonight. Crazy stuff. In the end, Ember Moon hits the Eclipse on Candice. Shotzi climbs to the top. Indi Hartwell covers Candice to protect her from harm. Shotzi does that coffin drop senton splash off the top onto the back of Indi Hartwell. Looked brutal. Shotzi pins Indi, gets the 1-2-3. They're moving on to the finals at TakeOver for the Women's Dusty Cup. We're going to give this match a 7.9 on the bro ratings. Now, keep in mind at the end of this video, predictions for TakeOver. But first, your 1 minute figure review. Okay, bros, we have your 1 minute figure review. This week, an elite Hall of Champions, Tommaso Ciampa. Let's get a zoom in here. Tommaso Ciampa, his first elite figure, Hall of Champions, when he was on the tag team DIY. As you can see, he's got the DIY headband, the DIY trunks, the DIY Ciampa and Gargano removable shirt here, and the NXT Tag Team Championship. On the back, a little history of DIY in NXT. Obviously, champion in 2016 with Johnny Gargano. Fantastic first elite figure, Tommaso Ciampa, DIY. Now, speaking of DIY, back to yourself. And we're back! Up next on NXT this week, we had Ciampa and Thatcher are backstage saying, you know what? We are ready to whip GYV asses tonight in your main event. Next contest was Kushida versus Austin Theory. And at ringside was none other than Johnny Gargano. Well, this match was fantastic. Kushida's kicks looking more brutal each time I watch him wrestle. And the guy is just fast. And he's just action-packed. Kushida. I mean, what a sign. What a signing by NXT a few years ago. Kushida. Bravo. This guy's great. And Austin Theory, he's getting better each time as well. We're not seeing as much of his purple face lately. So maybe he got something medically checked out, if you will. Match was going great until the end. Johnny Gargano super kicks Kushida. Disqualification. Not a fan of that. Let these guys wrestle. No reason why Kushida couldn't have beat Austin Theory leading into TakeOver. But I digress. What was cool was in the end, Dexter Lumis pulls Austin Theory under the ring. Gargano pulls what he thinks Austin Theory is out from under the ring, and it's Dexter Lumis. At the end, Kushida locks on the hoverboard lock on Johnny, and Dexter Lumis locks on his chokehold on Austin Theory. Pretty cool way to close the segment. But if we're going by that match, should have been a little higher grade here. Didn't care for that ending. We're going to give it a 7.3 on the bro ratings. Moving on. Imperium is coming to NXT. Now, we've seen Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, their former NXT Tag Team Champions, and we saw Alexander Wolf make his return to NXT since his days in the group called Sanity. But will we see Walter? My prediction is yes. And we'll get to it. I have some forward thinking going on how and when Walter will arrive in NXT and make a big, instant impact. So, we also show backstage, Karrion Kross takes out all of Legado del Phantasma. Mendoza, Joaquin Wilde, both laid out, taken out. Kross is ready for Santos next week. And we have an in-ring interview. A fancy Lamborghini pulls up and out walks Cameron Grimes. That's right. But this week is a little different. There's no more Grimes time. It's all about big money Cameron Grimes. He's throwing out $100 bills left and right. He's got, no shirt or tie underneath this, leather type suit. Still has his hat, has some cool glasses on, throwing out money all around. And he cuts a promo and says Cameron Grimes is back. And while he was home, he was playing some video games, invested a lot in GameStop, made a lot of money. He has so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it. And now he's rich and no one can stop him in NXT. So here's your Cameron Grimes return. Very happy to see that. This new character, I don't know. It's not a completely new character. It's a tweak of his previous character. But I did kind of like the down on his luck, chicken shit heel, if you will, character of Cameron Grimes. So I'm going to say the jury's still out on big money Cameron Grimes. So with that being said, bros, we're going to give this one a 7.0 on the bro ratings with obvious room for improvement. Now, that leads us to our main event of the evening, the other semifinal matchup of the Dusty Cup. And it pits Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher versus Zach Gibson and James Drake, the Grizzled Young Veterans. Grizzled Young Veterans come out and Gibson's tearing them apart on the microphone. And they get interrupted and beat down by Ciampa and Thatcher. What a great match. Thatcher was in most of the match. He was getting beat up by the Grizzled Young Veterans. And then he hits the hot tag on Ciampa. Ciampa comes in like a ball of fire. He's cleaning house, clotheslining everyone, hitting people with stiff forearms. And then they start brawling a little bit to the outside. Ciampa, James Drake comes inside. Ciampa goes for the Willow's Bell DDT, that quick through the rope DDT. But Gibson holds on to Drake and saves him. They take out Thatcher on the outside, hit Ciampa with the one ticket to Mayhem for the 1, 2, 3. The Grizzled Young Veterans win and are going to the Dusty Cup final just as I predicted, bros. What a final matchup. MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans this weekend at TakeOver. Really looking forward to that. But this main event tonight was a banger. Check it out if you haven't done so already. So with that being said, bros, we're going to give that one an 8.6 on the bro ratings. Just barely. Just barely. You know what that means. Your match of the night is this main event. Thatcher and Ciampa versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. Well done, main event NXT. So, that gives us 7 matches or in-ring segments and an average bro rating this week of 7.76. Pretty solid episode, highlighted by Johnny Gargano and the main event. Check those 2 things out, if you will. Now, it is prediction time for TakeOver. Vengeance Day. This takeover has a lot of potential, bros. So, we ended this week's episode of NXT highlighting the 5 matchups at TakeOver this weekend. And let's run them down for you, bros. We've got the Women's Dusty Cup Classic Finals, where we will see the team of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeat Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. And on the men's side of the Dusty Cup Classic, in the finals we will see the Grizzled Young Veterans defeat newcomers MSK in what should be a classic matchup. Now, for the North American Champion, your winner. And new champion will be Kushida, defeating Johnny Gargano for the title. The NXT Women's Championship. And still, NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai will defeat Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. And in your main event of the evening, the NXT World Championship, your winner, and still NXT Champion, the Prince Finn Balor, will defeat Pete Dunne. So there you have it, bros. I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below. And we will see you Sunday. TakeOver Vengeance Day. That means we're going to have to do a review of that TakeOver. We'll be doing that early next week. Later, bros.